Yes, you can register a minor under 18, but only under very strict conditions. Article 19 of the FIFA regulation, RSTP, to protect minors, and that means only if the parents of the player do move in that country in which this club has its domicile, only if the parents come for reasons not connected to football, that a club can register a player under 18. There is an exemption for players in the European Union. There, between 16 and 18, they can be registered, but the club must give education to the player and certain other conditions to protect the minor. But that means, and the jurisprudence of CAS is very strict. It is not enough when, for example, only one part of the parent is coming to that country, and if there is a slight relationship to being there only because the son wants to play there, they will not allow registration. So it's very, very strict. First of all, the rule is the same for everybody. So there is no difference between the big clubs and the small clubs. The rule is valid for all. But if you apply the rule, then you must look, when you give a sanction, what is the guilt of the party that you want to sanction. That means you have to look at the case, and each case is different. That means if you are sanctioned, if you have not behaved correctly by registering one player, then the sanction is another. If you would have registered 10 players without looking at the rule, you see the difference. It depends on the guilt of the club, and that makes it clear that not every decision can be the same. But in case two clubs would violate the rule for one player only, then normally the sanction should be the same. Well, of course, if the CAS arbitrators are only normal persons, they are human beings, and of course, if somebody like Real Madrid is coming, it can be a little bit different if than a small club would appear in front of you. But of course, this should not be like that. The law is the law for everybody, even big or small clubs. But I think sometimes also depends on what kind of lawyer you have. Did he defend the case as good as the lawyer for the other side? Are there differences in the cases he can show to the court which would lead to say that this case is not the same as the other? I have difficulties to see both cases because it's not public. These cases were not published in the Court of Arbitration for Sport homepage, so it's difficult to see which decision was perhaps in line with the rules and which one perhaps did deviate from the rules.